commiserations on the loss tonight. How do you assess it, and I guess the close to your season?
The game. I was really proud of the way the guys fought the game out. I thought we turned up with good intent early. Our ball use going inside 50 probably hurt us a little bit, and our ability to defend behind the ball. I thought Hogan, he was probably the difference in the end. His ability to mark the ball. It was a great lesson for Brodie Kemp in his second game of footy. It's a great opportunity to learn. But I thought the way the guys fought out the season, the last game and nothing on the line, it's not always easy. But I think they, whether it was for Levi, whether it was for Eddie, whether it's just pride in putting this jumper on, I thought the guys cracked it even late. When they kicked a couple, they kept coming. They kept coming to score, and I was really proud of them tonight.
David, very much Eddie and Levi's night. Can you just describe the emotion in the rooms a short time ago and the presentation you're able to give, Eddie in particular?
Yeah, two life members of our football club, and the longevity they've both showed in the game. Levi just at Carlton and Eddie at Carlton and Adelaide, then back to Carlton. They're two remarkable people. Levi, as big as he is and as hard as he hits people, he's a beautiful man inside, and he's got a lovely family, Hayley and the kids. And it was great to be able to zoom them in. It's a shame they couldn't be in the rooms. But, yeah, to celebrate what he's done, he's so tough. What he puts his body through for this team, to get out there and sometimes just get the ball to ground. That's all we ask from him. But I thought he was good tonight. And then Eddie, well, what a player Eddie's been. And I was lucky enough to be a player when Eddie turned up. And he was a chubby little kid, and the person that he is now from the person he was is phenomenal. And I know his beautiful wife Anna has played a role in that. But along the way, you connect with people, and he's had lots of people in his journey, which he thanks some of them that have grown him as a person, as a footballer. He's as entertaining as anyone that's ever played the game in my eyes. And to have a pocket named after you and the goals, the number of goal of the years he's won, and the way he entertains. Football is entertainment, and he entertains, but then he does it with a smile, and he's so loved universally, and now he's always had this passion, but now he's really stepping up for what he believes in, and that takes courage. It's not easy. It's not easy, and seeing it from afar, obviously I've never lived it, never will live it, but seeing what he's doing now and the hurt at times it causes him, but then a joy when he can educate and help others. He's just one really impressive individual that we should all take our hats off to.
David, just from a performance perspective, how pleased were you? And I know you don't accept losses, but how pleased were you that you've just run a genuine final side to a couple of goals that reflects perhaps positively on progress in recent weeks?
Oh, look, I thought our effort early. I thought there was a period where we went away from the basics, particularly we needed to be tougher around the contest. With centre bounce really hurt us again. That hurt us. And then around stoppages, we got our hands on it at times, but our inability to get some distance off it. But in terms of the way the guys cracked in, I thought for a quarter and a half we played some really good football last week. But when the tide turned, it really turned. Where this week they kicked a few. They kicked a few at the end of the second, I think, and then the start of the third, and we're getting a bit of a run on. But the boys rallied, and they kept fighting the game out, and that's what we've done over the period. Other than last week's loss, I think we've always been in a position to have a crack at some stage. Unfortunately, we haven't won enough of them, but this group have turned up. We've got to get better. It's simple, particularly around our stoppage work and our defence, but even our ball use, some of our skills and decision-making with the ball, we've got a lot to work on. We've got a lot to grow. Do I believe in this group? I know where you're going with the next question. I absolutely believe in this group, and I think they'll be a very good tide. I think they've got the ability, if they get all the players back, get some cohesion together, to be right up there in the top four next year.
David, it's been a really tough couple of months for you with the review and obviously the speculation. When do you expect to get an answer on your future?
Look, I'm guessing I think it's going to be Monday. I had a chat this week, and they said after the game they'll get together, the board, and have a look at that. And I've been very lucky. The support. I know the other day I mentioned that maybe I hadn't had the support from some people from within the footy club. But what I do want to take this opportunity is to thank the people that have supported me. My family and friends have been amazing. The number of people that some I've connected with throughout the journey of coaching at other clubs, and I know what my 14 years of coaching now, 13 years of coaching I've connected with. But people I haven't even connected with that reached out to me, and I got briefed the other day. And when you've got guys like Clarkson, Hardwick, Fagan, Malthouse, mentioning that they think I'm doing an okay job, or I'm tracking normally, it does give you a bit of confidence that people, some of them I haven't had anything to do with. And when they mention that the path we're on is normal and the track we're on is normal, it gives you some confidence. So I just like to take this opportunity to thank those people, because I agree with them. I understand we haven't won as many games as we'd like to, but our journey, our path, we get some players back. We've been, I won't use this as an excuse throughout the year, but it's a fact. We've just been hit hard by injuries, and now the season's over. Let's just state it. And our guys just keep turning up. They keep competing, and other than last week, we haven't been blown out of the water, and I'm really proud of that. I'm really proud of the way they're going about it. I'm really proud of the way we're shaping our culture. There's been a shift, and they're the things that I'm going to leave really proud of. And I understand the club's going to make a decision. Let's be honest, it doesn't look like it's going to go in my favour. But in terms of what I've done and what I've been able to control, I know who I am. I know why I've done it. I'm really happy with that.
How have you rated your performance, David?
Beg your pardon?
How have you rated your performance? Forgetting about the decision they're going to make in the next couple of days, how have you rated your performance as a coach?
Oh, have I learned a lot? Absolutely. In these 2 years, it's been massive learning. And to be honest, when I talk to other senior coaches in the industry, they reckon the last 2 years you probably learn as much as you will in 4. So I've learned a lot. Have I made mistakes along the way? This is where I want to be clear with this. Absolutely. There's so many mistakes. I've had so many learning opportunities, and I'm not saying I'm a perfect coach. I'm not saying I'm a great coach, but in terms of what I've done and why I've chose to do those things, I feel comfortable. I've always put this club and this team first. I've put the players first. I think the bit I've loved, I think there's been a changing of the guard in terms of our culture and our selflessness. And I look at the guys now that were probably are performing at the best in Wiedering, Walsh, Mackay, these guys that are going to be this football club. They own this footy club. It's their footy club for the next 10 years. I'm really confident that they understand what high performance is. They understand what playing a team brand of football is. And I'm so confident that they will take this club forward. And to feel like I've played a part in that is something I'm really proud of. And
Piggy, Pig has touched on this today and obviously last week. Was there a better way to handle this from a transparency perspective over the last week or so? I think the common view in football is you've done a remarkable job to represent the club in very trying circumstances.
To be honest, I love this club. I don't want to sit up here and say anything, but when the review gets announced through the media, that's not high performance. And I'm going to challenge. I'm going to call it out that this footy club have got some areas to improve. And I think even in the last 3 weeks, I won't go into what, but I've seen an improvement at a level that I haven't seen in the past. So, in terms of transparency, they've been clear with in terms of timeline. I've been comfortable with all the timeline. I probably challenged the other day a little bit more support, particularly when guys like you, Tom, went hard at me and were potting me the whole time. I would have loved some people to come out and back me in. It hurt when people said that I didn't have relationships with the players, or I'd lost relationships with the players. Where that one probably dug a little bit deep, because it's not true. Yeah, there's certain players that don't love what I say all the time, but that's what a high performance environment is. If you were to canvass any club at the moment, if you were to get 44 players, there's guys that aren't getting a game of AFL footy. There's guys getting challenged, and they're not always going to love the feedback. But in terms of relationships, in terms of those players' ability to say anything to the coach, the senior coach, I feel really comfortable with our group of being able to do that. So that I would have loved a little bit more support around that one when it started. I thought at times it got a little bit personal towards me, and that's probably where I felt I would have loved some support.
David, what did you make of Ross Lyon's appearance on Footy Classified the other night? No doubt it's got back to you, what he said, and yeah, what did you think of it?
I didn't watch it. to be honest. I don't watch a lot of the shows. My media briefings are going for a little bit longer than they used to because I think from a narrative point of view, we're very, very popular in the media to talk about. Yeah, look, I think the media narrative hasn't quite been fair on this football club and on this playing group. I think at times, the expectations is a dangerous word, but at the start of the year, the so-called experts didn't have us. Not many of them had us in the 8. They didn't actually have us in the 8 at the start of the year, and that's what they are. And then our inability to create cohesion due to injuries has challenged us. So in terms of what he said, look, I've heard snippets of it. I haven't seen it live. I don't really want to waste my energy on those comments, to be honest.
Thanks, guys. Yes.
Can I just check, David, is Tom De Koning okay? There was a pretty nasty sight at the end there where he hit his head and then tried to get up and then tried to go, and he obviously got taken off on the stretcher in the end.
Yeah, he is okay. He was in the rooms. I think from what I saw, I haven't spoke to the doctors about it. We were doing the presentations and I snuck in here. So I haven't been briefed totally, but I did get a message that he's okay. So he had, from what I saw, he had concussion and I think he was trying to get up and get going. And I know I've done that once myself where I thought I was right, but I wasn't quite right and I headbutted the dirt. So he'll be okay. It was a pretty impressive mark too, the way he launched out to put his body on the line. And a lot of players did that today. They competed really hard and Tom was one of those.
And just on Paddy Cripps, was that something he'd carried into the game? He had 17 handballs and no kicks.
No, it wasn't. No, he had a sore left quad last week. Yep. So for being a right footer, that wasn't something he carried into the game. I don't know exactly when it hurt it, but obviously we could see he was limited. But yeah, look, I agree. He chose to handball, so I'm guessing there may have been something hindering, but it wasn't something that I was aware of going into the game. He kicked the ball at training this week, so I don't know if he heard it early or he was just choosing not to handball. But a little bit of that hurt us around the contest. At times, I thought our mid's ability to win the ball was good, but our ability to get distance off it, that hurt us. So that's something from a leadership point of view and from a group point of view, we've got to get better at.